Let's talk about the Smok Morph. It might be the perfect mod, except for just one thing. Okay, so here it is. It's the Smok Morph. It's the latest and greatest from Smok Tech. This one I've owned for several months now, so it's got some abuse. It's also, as you will notice, a fingerprint magnet in the prism colors. Fingerprint magnet. It's got a 510 connector centered on the top. It's got a battery door with a little clip. It's very secure. The battery door is marked with positive and negative to make it easy to figure out how your batteries go in. This is not resin on the back, I do not believe. This is a photo plate on the back. That's just a plastic piece, I do believe, although it looks just like resin. So it is a nice looking mod. There's the USB port for updating the firmware. I suppose you could charge through that port, but it's never recommended, is it? No. You'd like to use outside external charger for your battery charging needs. So to turn it on is just like most Smok products, 5 clicks, and it turns on. Now, one thing that's different about this model from most of the others is that there's this little button here which either one quick click puts it into stealth mode, one click brings it back to regular mode, and holding this button will unlock the screen. If you notice right now, I cannot make any, this is a touch screen, I cannot make any adjustments to the touch screen at this moment. I have to press and hold this button in to access. There you go, it's unlocked, and now I can make adjustments to my wattage up and down. Here is the indicator of the battery level. You can see these batteries are pretty much done. One interesting thing is the outside rim they did not utilize for showing you the battery charge. That had me fooled at first. I thought that as the battery drained, these would decrease in the amount of color fill, but they don't. It's just a little picture of the battery, one for each battery inside the ring, that indicates what the charge of the battery is. Okay, so hold the little button here to unlock the menu and hit that menu thing, and you've got that menu icon, and you've got mode, my mode, puff, and setting. Mode is, we're currently in watt mode. With a normal preheat, we could go hard, soft. We can adjust our wattage here, 56 watts, back down to 50 watts. We can switch modes. We can go to temperature mode, titanium, nickel, stainless steel, and back to watt. In stainless steel mode, for example, you can adjust the temperature coefficient of resistance. Do that again. You can adjust that number, 110, 114, 110. You can adjust the wattage at which you will vape in TC mode. And back to home. So here we are in TC mode. Notice it's unlocked, so I can adjust the temperature. I can't adjust anything else on this screen other than the temperature at which I'm going to vape. It will bring you all the way up to there you go, 315 C, and then it switches to Fahrenheit. You can go backwards to C. So right at that threshold, you get between Fahrenheit and centigrade. And it goes all the way up to 600 Fahrenheit, and then it switches to 100 centigrade. Excuse me. I like to vape at around 225 to 250 C. So now, as soon as I depress the fire button, it should lock the screen. Well, it didn't, did it? By pressing that button, it locks the screen. So let's look at some other things that this does. We'll unlock, hit the home button. We've looked at the modes, so there's nothing else to look at there. Go back. We'll choose My Mode. My Mode allows you to pre-program 4 different modes. Let's look at number 1 here. I've programmed in, and you do that with changing the memory, or if you see the little edit symbol here, the little pen or pencil, and you hit that, there's a keypad. So it's just like the old style cell phones where you can put in whatever you want there, and you can choose. To me, this is useless. I really don't use this at all. So here we are, we're in Kanthal 40 watt 2 milligram mode. I suppose if you have a bunch of different tanks that you use and you like a particular wattage and you can put that in. But to me, that's pretty much a useless feature. So we'll unlock it again and we'll look at the puff counter again. Another, in my opinion, useless feature. Who cares? I usually just ignore that anyway. The last one is setting, and you have some general settings which are about the unit. It's the Morph. It's 128K capacity. Its version, it's firmware version 1.1.0. Sorry, I should set the screen timeout for a bit longer. Manufacturer and the country in which it's made. Then you can factory reset it if you'd like. You can power lock it after it times out, and here's where you go power off. So we don't want to power it off. We want to look some more. Also, it's got some information about the chip. It's the brand new IQS chip for Smok. Who manufactures it? The processor, 32-bit, charging current 1.8, some 50 amps. So there's some information that I suppose may be useful there. Then you can look at the theme. The theme is the wallpaper and the screen color and the timeout. Let's fix this timeout so it doesn't drive us crazy anymore. I should have done that a while ago, huh? So you can set it for as long as you want. That's over a minute now. So you can choose either the Smok layout or this carbon fiber or a grid or a honeycomb. And you will notice that it's barely evident. You can barely see that that's a honeycomb background there. Well, that's okay. You can also change the screen color. Let's change it to blue. Go all the way back out. So there we are in the blue mode. That's kind of nice. And what else? Oh, you can put this passcode business theme. There's nothing else there except for the screen timeout. Let me put that back down too. Save a little battery life, I suppose. Passcode. You can set a passcode. I find that very annoying, but if you have small children who may stumble upon the unit and decide to vape, well, maybe a passcode is a good idea in that case, but I don't have small kids running around, and when my grandchildren are here, they do not have access. So, another useless feature. Now, what is evident to me is what is missing. I like to vape in temperature mode primarily. This comes with, as most new kits do, comes with a Kanthal mesh coil. Now, for Kanthal, what I normally do is I will vape in power curve mode, which kind of mimics, for me, temperature control mode, if it's a Kanthal coil. Because, of course, you cannot vape a Kanthal coil in temperature mode. It just doesn't work because the resistance of the coil doesn't change that much. It's pretty stable. stainless steel, titanium, and nickel coils all have variable resistance. So as the coil heats up, the resistance changes, and thereby your unit can recognize that resistance change and adjusts it accordingly. This does not, however, have power curve mode. None of the Smok mods that I'm aware of utilize a power curve mode. Very disappointing. I wish Smok would include that feature. It's really the only thing I do not like about this mod, is that there is no power curve settings. But other than that, how do you like it, Bill? Well, Bill likes it. And it's a very good mod to use in TC mode. I didn't talk much about the other features on this screen here. Let's put it in standard power mode. Now I'm going to depress that button to unlock the screen, and then I'm going to hit that button, and then I'm going to go to mode, and we're going to go in normal watt mode, 50 watts. So back button, home button, and there we go. So the screen shows you the menu access, whether it's locked or unlocked. When it's in unlock, you can adjust the wattage up and down. It tells you the time of your puff, whether you're in normal, soft, or hard mode. It shows you the resistance of your atomizer. There's no atomizer currently on board, so it's showing 0. It shows you the number of puffs you've taken. It shows you the applied voltage. It's actually calculated voltage, I assume, and the applied calculated amperage. So let's lock it, and now we cannot adjust anything, but it will still fire and when it's in lock mode. Now another thing you'll notice, I'm going to unlock it here again, that once you test fire it or fire it with an atomizer on, this will automatically go into locked mode. Let me put an atomizer on. Just to keep things simple, I'm going to put on this little mouth-to-lung job here. I don't really use this, but... Now watch what happens, and let me turn down the wattage here. I don't want to fry this coil. We'll put it down to like 12 watts. Watch what happens to the lock symbol once I depress the button and take a draw. So it's asking me about the coil. Is it a new coil? Yes, it is. So it's reading the resistance of the coil, 1.972 ohms. This is pretty accurate on reading coils, so it's reliable in that case. So here we go. Now I'm going to fire it. Watch what happens when I fire it. See that? It locked automatically. So I cannot make adjustments until I hold down, we'll call it a utility button, and unlock it again. Now I can adjust the wattage, and once I fire it again, watch, it locks once it starts firing. So that's the Smok Morph. I keep calling it Smok, but I really should call it what the current consensus says. It's Smok, the Smok Morph. You can get them for under $60 nowadays for the mod alone, probably even less than that if you're willing to wait for your shipment from China. But it's a good bargain. It's a nice mod. It is a fingerprint magnet, and it does not have power curve mode. Those are my only real 2 complaints about it. Other than that, I like it just fine, and I recommend it.